So I want to switch it up a little bit from last night and talk about Chris Bascom having been quoted as saying that the club considered asking Gary Neville for a retraction around his comments that Arne Slot was the third choice or the third person offered the Liverpool managerial job. Now, I think that's probably the right decision, David, that the club didn't go formal, but it is also important that the wider public know that the club do keep an eye on these things and the club are aware of it, because Neville in particular has, in my opinion, and it is just my opinion, gone out of his way to undermine Liverpool at times, whether it's speaking about Darwin and Salah, the managerial situation. I get it. He's a United boy through and through, but your thoughts on that whole situation and whether you think the club would have gone public to say something, or do you think it was the right decision to maybe just let it be known that they're displeased with it, but not going formal with it?
Yeah, so I wrote myself about Xabi Alonso not being first choice and kind of Gary Neville in the build up to the game, and I didn't actually know about that element that Basco had written about. I thought it was really an interesting one that he's saying that the club kind of considered going public. I agree with you. I'm kind of glad they didn't. They probably don't need to descend into getting into battles like that, but I think it does kind of say, I think it offers a little bit of a reminder maybe to Gary Neville that I think he's in a privileged position working with Sky. He's one of the most high-profile pundits of the game in English football, and sometimes you just got to be a little bit careful of saying things like that. It feels. I don't think this is intention to make Liverpool look foolish, but it's kind of. And I say this with the greatest respect, but it's almost fan channel level kind of in terms of I don't think he should be as dragged by his loyalties. I mean, but for example, it's absolutely fine for you to be, when you cover Liverpool, to talk about the game in that sort of way. Whereas I think if you're Gary Neville, I don't want him to be put all his biases to one side. We all know he supports and loves Manchester United. That's absolutely fine. But to say things publicly that kind of aren't true in that environment, and when you've got that platform, and it's such a big platform for Sky Sports, you've just got to be a little bit more measured, surely. And I was surprised he said that. And as I say, I'm glad the club didn't kind of knock that down publicly or anything like that. But it was, just demonstrably total nonsense. It never got to the point where you could get close to offering it to Xabi Alonso. So I don't know why he was saying that. And I do think with Gary Neville's analysis, sometimes he was an absolute breath of fresh air when he came in. But I sometimes wonder at the moment, is he almost too busy? Has he got too much on to reach those levels again? Because sometimes it feels like it's going down the route now of kind of sound bites rather than cold-headed analysis. Whereas, and this is not a loyalty to Liverpool thing, I absolutely promise you. I feel like Jamie Carragher's level of analysis is absolutely top class and maybe on a different level at the moment. And I'd like to see Gary Neville get back to it, because I thought he's a brilliant pundit when he puts his mind to it. Don't want him trying to make digs at Liverpool or treat games in that way, or sounding like he's got a smack bum when he's commentating on Liverpool doing well. To be honest, he's much better than that. So yeah, I thought it was a really kind of interesting insight from Basco, that one.
I do agree with you, by the way. I think we spoke about this just before we went live, or when we started recording. We're both fans of Gary Neville as a pundit. When himself and Jamie Carragher were doing Monday Night Football, they're absolutely fantastic. But I agree on the lines being blurred between maybe content creator and professional pundit. Sometimes sound bites are important, but yeah, I just hope that he tones it down a little bit, because we all enjoy his good punditry. And as you said, him and Cara have readjusted the landscape there.